Well, hello everybody. This is Mayor Charles Kemp and town uh, town manager. I forgot who he was. Town manager from Chestnut. We've been doing this long, doing it over a year and a half. We sometimes forget what we. I've got a question for you, and there's not one of you who's watching this, whether you're in Pomona, California, or Cheyenne, Washington, or Wyoming, or Fairmont, North Carolina, or New York City, that can't remember this. Do you remember when you were in grade school or high school and they had a class election for class president or class secretary and they nominated people and then they told all you and whoever you was running against you to go out in the hallway and they voted and then you came back and they announced who was the winner. And then you had to go and sit across from Mary or Joe or Sam at lunch knowing that you hated them because they beat you for president. Don't tell me you hadn't had that happen to you. That's the way they used to do elections. There was no such thing as a secret ballot, paper ballot, nothing like that. Everybody raised their hands, and sometimes they did it in the classroom with you in it,
Yeah.
which was really hurtful. Well, that's what our topic about is today: elections and government and who runs government affairs in certain jurisdictions. I don't know when you'll see this, but tomorrow night, Tuesday, the 16th of December, we're going to have a ceremonial type meeting. Our town board will be a ceremonial type meeting. Won't do a lot of business, in which a couple of our commissioners who have served for 4 years will be leaving because they were not reelected, and others will be taking their seats to make a board of 6 people. I have been fortunate, and I say that not just to use the term, I really have. I have been fortunate to have been elected and will be sworn in tomorrow night as mayor, and I will have taken, this will be the 13th oath that I've taken in 46 years. And that's, when you think about that, that's a long time.
Yeah.
There are people in this town that aren't as old as my service.
Yes,
career.
sir.
What that says about, I guess, is that I've either fooled a lot of people or people like my form and brand of leadership and want me to hang around. But it's not always that way. Sometimes small town elections can cost a lot of money. Sometimes you can get your feelings hurt.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes you have to decide, do I really want to do this? Do I want to go down there every Tuesday night and fight and argue with people? There's a dynamics to meetings. Mr. Chestnut's been in government for a while. He knows what I'm talking about. And so if you're hearing this before Tuesday night at 6 o'clock, the 16th, you're welcome to come down and see our ceremonial meeting. It's not going to be a lot of business, but you're welcome to do that, and you'll see who's going to lead your town for the next 4 years, or at least for the next 2 years, because we have an election every 2 years. Half the board is elected every 2 years, and we'd love to have you. Mr. Chestnut, you've been around elections and politics, although you're not subjected to that. You're hired by the people that are elected.
Yes, sir. So, I just want to just step back and talk about a couple of things with the organizational meeting that we're going to do tomorrow night. And we have 2 commissioners that are leaving, Commissioner Evans and Commissioner McNeil. Both of them have served this town well. And, one of the conversations I'm going to have with these 2 outgoing commissioners is, not to just pull back from government. You served as a voice for people for 4 years. Stay involved, But tomorrow night we will see, somewhat of a changing of the guard with 2 commissioners that are leaving. They're still your commissioners till 6 o'clock tomorrow.
Okay.
So continue to reach out and talk to them. And then when they leave office, don't leave them out of the loop. They have been very vocal in the things they want to see for the town. And some of those things are going to go forward. At the same time, we're going to welcome the re-election of our mayor and the welcoming of 2 new commissioners, one who have served before.
Yeah.
And so over the next, probably few months, you're going to see just additional guidance or where we're taking off for the future. Mr. Mayor, you and I have talked about things that we have going on next year, um, but we have a lot of work to do. But just being a part of this change of guard that you're going to see tomorrow, come out, see what these outgoing commissioners talk about, see what the incoming commissioner is going to talk about. You may get a chance to see their families and meet their families. But tomorrow night, like the mayor said, it's not going to be a lot of business. We actually only have one business item on there. But come out, be a part of the initiation and start of this new board going forward. My hopes are, Mr. Mayor, that we can continue on the things that have caused us to be successful, and continue to bring in the good news for the town. So our commissioners, our mayor, our staff, and the community is all a part of what we have going on. So tomorrow, we like to see these things. We're also going to select a mayor pro tem that's going to serve over the next 12 months. Mayor pro tems are selected by the board itself, and they get to serve in the absence of the mayor. If there's ever any absences and that sort of thing. And you'll get to see the selection of that person tomorrow night. So come out, see the changing of the guard, and be prepared to just stay, or be prepared to get involved in local government, or be prepared to stay invested in local government and what we have going on, Mr. Mayor.
There are two things that I want to add to Mr. Chestnut's commentary. Two of our board members. I don't know that there's a mayor in town. I'm going to be bold and say I bet there's not a mayor in the United States, large or small, that has held another position in the past, that being a high school teacher, that could say that two of his 6 board members were former students of
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Commissioner Heather Siebels and Commissioner Jan Tedder Rogers were both dear friends of mine. I taught Jan Tedder Rogers back in the time of the Ice Age, and when Lee and Grant met at Appomattox Courthouse, Jan was there to park the horses, and
she's gonna kill you.
Heather Siebels was a student in my leadership class, and I knew then, I could spot him a mile away, that she was going to be in a leadership role at some point. And the other thing that I think is remarkable, for the first time in the history of this town,
Yes, sir.
6 board members, 4 of them will be ladies.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We've never ever had that before.
And I think that will offer us a different perspective going forward. And I'm not speaking ahead of time because I haven't sat down with this new board and discussed anything. But having a diverse board, and we're not talking about color, skin, or but just having fresh perspectives in the community, on your staff, or on your board isn't a bad thing. We all don't think different, and you and I talk about this all the time. If we sit down in the same room together and just talk to each other, we will find out that we have more in common than what divides us, and that's what I'm looking forward to, Mr. Mayor.
Right, and you don't see that in Washington, because up
Yes,
there it's on your side of the aisle or on your side of the aisle. Rarely there is no walking across or reaching across the aisle. Here we've got 7 people that run this town electorally, and a town manager that they hire. I have nothing to do with that. If it was up to, no, I'm just kidding. You're doing a great job, absolutely great job, and I'm sure the new board members will see that if they have not already seen that. But we've got a big job ahead of us. We've got things that we've got to do in 2026. Mr. Chestnut's already laid the groundwork for it, grant-wise and structurally wise, and contacts with the legislature. We've reached out to our state, our representative in Washington, and going to have a meeting with him in sometime in the early part of the year. But these new board members are going to need some tweaking and some hand-holding, and to show them what needs to be done. But I think we're going to have, I told one of our commissioner-elects within the last hour before we filmed this. They were in the compound up here, the facilities, and I told her, I said, we're going to have a good board.
Yes, sir.
Probably one of the best I've ever seen.
Yes, sir.
Because everybody seems to be wanting to go in the same direction.
Yes, sir.
So, if you are available and you see this before tomorrow at 6 o'clock, feel free to come to the Heritage Center and watch as government works in a different way. Not a lot of votes about this program and that program and how much we're going to spend and how we're going to spend this money, about getting people sworn in by a judge and letting them take their office, and a little pride, a little enjoyment, a little excitement. Let their families get involved and everybody's happy.
Most definitely.
Yeah. So thanks for listening, and we hope to see you throughout 2026.
Yes, sir.